Shall we try this again? I hope you can hear me. Hope you can hear me. Lee Everett from Lee Everett Property. And on this week's live stream, we're going to talk about the potential announcement in a mini budget on Friday about a cut in stamp duty. Potentially. So, as we said a couple of weeks ago in the live stream, that we thought that, or I thought that there may be some nuggets that come out if the Chancellor wanted to put his own stamp on pun the pun, on the economy. And yeah, hopefully it's going to be something which actually helps people rather than just increasing house prices, which we saw two stamp duty holidays or a stamp duty holiday 18 months ago, which really just inflated house prices quicker than what they needed to be done. Jane, yes, this should be working. This is the second stream I've just set up, so hopefully, yeah, you can all hear me. I had a mic issue, so welcome back, Jane, if you can hear me. And yes, everyone can hear me. Perfect. Okay, guys, right, yeah. So as we said a couple of weeks ago, I did predict that the Chancellor would have a mini budget or an announcement, not only just to do with energy, but with potentially about the property market as well. As a lot of people have noticed that the housing market has started to cool by more and more properties coming onto the market, depending where you are. Obviously, every area has its own sort of mini micro market, but everyone generally accepts that the demand isn't quite there as it was last year. And also there is more properties generally coming onto the market. So that has sort of eased off demand and prices going up as quickly as they have been for the last year, 2 years. So what I think the Chancellor is wanting to do is to try and maybe light a fire or light a match under a property market that is currently starting to sort of flatline a little bit. No more growth. Some YouTubers and some economists saying that house prices are dropping, but from a lot of people I'm speaking to that I'm putting offers forward for, a lot of places are going for over asking price, sometimes well over asking price still. So depending on where you are will be what is happening with house prices. But generally most people are seeing a leveling off. And I think the government, because the housing market is such a massive money earner for the government, not just in if you think every time somebody moves house, you have solicitors' fees, estate agents' fees. Then once you've bought the house, you then spend money in B&Q, Harrods, all those sorts of places that then brings in tax receipts to the government in terms of VAT. And you may employ a kitchen fitter, carpet fit, all those bits and pieces, which feed money into the economy. So having a stamp duty cut in rate or moving the rates up so less people pay it can actually bring in more money than what it actually costs. But as you buying a property, is it going to affect you as in pounds in your pocket? Now, with what happened in the last stamp duty holiday, any savings that people were making, up to £15,000, I think was the max that anybody could save, was massively outweighed by the huge increase in property prices that we saw over that period of time. I don't know about you guys, but where I'm working, we already had a manic property market with people wanting to be out of city centres, wanting more space. That was enough demand to actually stimulate the area where I am selling properties. So why they decided to do the stamp duty holiday back then, I have no idea, but they've done it. And some people maybe who took advantage of it early may have saved some money, but a lot of people who bought towards the end were probably lost the money, which no one likes. But we don't actually know what this current stamp duty plan is. I mean, there's a lot of rumours. There's 2 leaks from Whitehall that have said there will be an announcement on stamp duty, but we don't know the ins and outs of it yet. So we're going to sort of spitball some ideas of what we think Liz Truss and the Chancellor may be thinking of doing. Now, one of the things they could look at doing is increasing the rate for first-time buyers. So at the moment, if you're a first-time buyer, you can buy a property with no stamp duty up to the value of £300,000. Now, I've got a graph here which I just want to share with you guys, which shows, let's get it on my screen, the share of first-time buyers paying stamp duty. Okay, so it goes back to 2017. So this is from a company called Hampton's Property Experts. So there's 16% of people in 2017 16% of first-time buyers in 2017 paid stamp duty. Okay, most of those would have been sort of in the London boroughs, those sorts of areas. But as you can see, going up and up and up over the years, that number is now 26% of first-time buyers are having to pay stamp duty, which, I mean, it's helping 3 out of 4 first-time buyers. So you can argue that it does do its thing by helping. But yeah, that's a big increase. It's a big 10% increase in 5 years in first-time buyers paying stamp duty. And obviously, if you are buying in the city or an expensive area, once you go over £500,000, you don't get any help at all. So, I mean, I've been putting offers forward on flats for over £500,000 for first-time buyers, and they're not getting any stamp duty saving at all. So, if you are in that sort of bracket where you are having to pay top money for living in the capital or near the capital, and you're gonna have to pay stamp duty and lose this incentive at the moment, let me know if maybe raising that threshold a bit more would maybe help you out a little bit. You could argue that if you can afford £500,000, then you maybe don't need it, but it's much better to be in your pocket than in the government's pocket. That's how I would see it anyway. That's how I see it. But let me know your thoughts on this, guys. That's what we're here to see. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get through some comments while we're here. Let's get me back. There we go. I'm back. Having a few technical issues today, guys. Just a few technical issues. If you are new here, don't forget to say hello. We're a fantastic group of people. I've got some regulars here like E. Jane, Alex, Ilana, all here most weeks. And congratulations on E. Jane on completing a couple of weeks ago. I hope you had a lovely holiday. Yes, people are here, and I'm hoping it's working. Hello, Alex. Nice to see you. Hello, Ilana. I hope you're doing well. Chigo, nice to see you again. Evening, hello, Albie. Good to see you, my friend, again. Hello from Taki. Hello from Kay. Okay, when would this stamp duty cut potentially come into play? So whenever there's any announcement regarding stamp duty, it does have this effect on potentially holding up sales. For example, if I've got any sales which are due to exchange this week and potentially complete on Friday or before Friday as announced, if I was a buyer who was potentially having to pay stamp duty, I would want to delay that completion until I knew what this announcement was going to be. So unfortunately, Albie, until we have that announcement on Friday, we don't know exactly what, or if at all it's going to happen, and B, what timescales we're looking at, whether it's going to be a temporary thing like the stamp duty holidays were, or whether it'll be a permanent fixture for the next year or two in terms of maybe adjusting the thresholds or maybe giving incentives to certain type of people to sell their property. You could argue that doing a stamp duty cut for people looking to downsize, so more mature people who are in their big family homes, getting them or incentivizing them to sell so don't have to pay much stamp duty on buying a smaller property. So there are certain things which could try and help stimulate the market, but until the announcement is made Friday, it's very, very difficult to say. And I do apologize for my croaky voice. We've been hospital with my son, and I think we've picked up something while we've been in hospital, so excuse the croaky voice. Taki, tomorrow we have the mini budget as well as the Bank of England meeting in regards to the interest rate. Yes, we do. And the American bank has just put up their interest rates by 0.75% again. So there will be some pressure on our Bank of England, despite the energy guarantee that the government announced last week, and inflation falling somewhat last month to 9.9%. There will be still massive pressure on the Bank of England to raise interest rates again. So if you haven't bought a property or locked in a mortgage deal yet, then you can pretty much guarantee that those rates are going to go up again after tomorrow. So yeah, interesting to see what those rates are going to be, whether it be 0.5% increase or 0.75. Even though, when will the stamp duty be effective from? We might complete soon, but it's not going to be before Friday. So anybody who hasn't exchanged contracts, you may just want to push pause and maybe not exchange or complete on Friday, just in case. But remember, if you are a first-time buyer buying a property, there is no stamp duty up to £300,000. Okay, so it probably won't affect you if you're buying under £300,000. All right. If you're a home mover, you're selling a property and also buying, then it may be something you want to wait to see what happens. Paul is all good, fantastic. In Alex's area, a lot more properties coming on, a lot of reduction as well, a lot of ambitious. Yeah, there are a lot of ambitious sellers still, and a lot of estate agents that are still valuing like it was last year, which is making it seem like house prices are coming down when what really is probably happening from my area is the properties that agents have valued 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, when they've given these inflated valuations to win their business, and now having to reduce to the right price to get sold. That's what I'm noticing. A lot of the corporate agents who don't do too well in my area are having to overvalue to gain business, and then getting them to reduce over a period of time until they eventually sell. But yeah, we're noticing a lot of reductions as well, especially from some of these bigger estate agent chains. So, Jane, still mostly larger, more expensive homes coming onto the market here. Haven't seen any mid-sized semis in my. I'd imagine they're probably gone before they come on the market, Jane. I know you were. You're up north somewhere, aren't you? So still a popular place. But I know if I get a 3-bedroom semi come onto the market in my area, I've probably got a list of 10, 15 people that we can call, who I'd imagine half of them would probably be interested in at least viewing, if not offering. So yeah, it's all very strange and very demographical, depending where you are in terms of what's going on and what people are experiencing, which is why I love getting people's views from all across the country. And I must stress, this potential stamp duty cut or raising of the threshold is purely for England at the moment. Scotland and Wales have their own tiers of what they do with stamp duty and call it different things. So this is just for England, that Liz Truss and I forget his name, the Chancellor's gonna announce. Come next week, who knows if we still be able to afford to buy anymore? Yes, yeah. I mean, this is why I said months and months ago that if you see the house you want and you can afford it and lock in at low interest rate, then that's what I would have done. I say interest rates have gone from 0.1% to 1 point whatever they are now. So it's a massive, massive increase, guys. Massive, massive increase. And the longer you leave it, the more it's going to cost you in interest. Whether house prices do come down and sort of equalize that difference out, no one actually knows. But the one thing for definite is interest rates are going up. There's still a little bit of, especially after this potential announcement about house prices, a lot of people saying house prices are going to crash 20% back to 2019 levels. Maybe this is the government's way of maybe trying to stem the flow of property prices dropping because it is such a massive income rake for the government. Jane thinks that they should leave stamp duty alone now, to be honest. An increase in the limit of 300 first-time buyers would be better. I would agree. So the average house price is £255,000. I think roughly around that sort of level was around sort of £200,000 a couple of years ago. So there will be some first-time buyers who are buying slightly over that and maybe touching in. As we saw, 26% of first-time buyers are now paying stamp duty compared to, was it 12%? 5 years ago. So yeah, maybe something to do with that would help some people, especially a lot of the first time buyers. I've been putting offers in London for that. I'm sure that would certainly help. But yeah, first time buyers generally don't pay stamp duty. 3 out of 4 of you won't be paying stamp duty, if anything. Yeah, I'd imagine what they'll probably do, Jane, is they'll probably adjust the levels of stamp duty where it's due to be paid. So obviously, if you're a mover or not a first time buyer, you pay no stamp duty on the first £125,000. Then it's 2% stamp duty on the difference between 125 and the price you purchased the property at, up to 250. So if they moved that threshold to home movers to £250,000, that would bring a lot more people into not paying stamp duty if the average house price is around that 250 sort of mark. So it would help home movers, but not necessarily, say, first time buyers. Also, you might say if you can afford 500k as a first-time buyer, you don't need a stamp duty. But how? I mean, as I said, I've dealt with some people this week where we're offering on houses well over £500,000, sometimes £600,000, £700,000, who are first-time buyers who have worked hard to save their deposits and get to their place in life where they can afford a property where they live. I personally, I hold my hands up. I did not know, because I don't deal with a lot of first-time buyers in my 9 till 6:30 job that can afford more than 500k. So when I put this into the calculator, just to double check, I was shocked that my client had to pay stamp duty. I felt really bad for him, but luckily enough, they'd already budgeted for it. But yeah, just because you can afford it, Well, just because you can afford a property doesn't necessarily mean you're minting, because you are taking out a debt, aren't you? You are. At least I am the technical manager. I don't know what happened. I think I had a loose cable. Better than the week before last, though, when when the stream just went completely up shit creek. Good evening, Sylvia. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream again. Chico agrees with Alex. What about sacking the technical manager? Okay. Cheers. Cheers. Hello, Penny Pat. Welcome back. Yeah, he's all good. Thank you. He's all good. We had, had to go to hospital for quite a few hours. So, but no, he's all right. He's all right. Thank good. Hi, Ollie. How you doing? You all right? Atkin, no, he's fine. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the thoughts. That's really, really nice of you. Thank you. Albie, if it was reported to cut stamp duty, would current ongoing cases change in terms of offered? So the only thing I think which current running properties would be potentially owners going to buyers saying, because you're going to save X amount of money on stamp duty, will you pay more money or like split the difference or something like that? I can't see it doing too much unless somebody's paying at a threshold where, I don't know, so they move the threshold for a home mover to £250,000 before they pay any stamp duty. If they're paying £255,000, then they may look to reduce their offer to 250 because they're going to save a lot of money on stamp duty. So you could see a bit of that happening. That's probably the worst thing I can see is home buyers looking to try and, if they are close to any stamp duty thresholds that are moved, they look to try and get down to that level to help save on the stamp duty. So that could happen. But when you do ask for any price reductions when buying a property, that does lose any goodwill and trust between you and the seller. So think very carefully if that's something you want to do. Okay, it feels like I never meet completion. The address on the lease is different from the property address. Vendor solicitor is saying it's up to my sister to interpret the lease. Is this real life? Yeah. The thing is, though, the seller solicitor, if they were acting for you, they'd be doing exactly the same as what your solicitor is doing. So solicitors have two ways of acting. One if they're the buyer, and one if they're the seller. And it does always frustrate me how they take one view when they're buying a property and another view when they're selling. It's always the other person's job to do it, no matter what side of the of the coin they're acting on. So you will get there, Kate. You will get there. It can't be far for you. Now you've been around here for weeks and weeks and weeks. You should be here. You should be here. Ollie's waiting for his mortgage offer. If the Bank of England raise rates tomorrow, will this affect the rate I've received? Potentially, Ollie. Potentially, but again, you want to speak to your broker as to the terms of your of the mortgage product that you have applied for. Most products, or your mortgage agreement in principle, will be valid for a certain amount of time, subject to checks, etc. So if your broker's got in with a particular product in mind and they've applied for that, then I'd like to think the bank would honour that. I'm guessing you've had your survey done and stuff like that, Ollie. So you're just waiting for the offer to come out. Maybe it's at the underwriters. So hopefully it shouldn't be too far out for you. But I'm hopeful that you'd be able to get the rate that you've been quoted already, especially as you're almost there. Almost there. That's an odd one, Kate. I hear your pain. There's a lot of pain. A lot of pain. I finally got a mortgage offer after 2 weeks ago. Fantastic. 5 months after making the first. Wow. What was the property you was buying? Chigo? 5 months, blimey. Well, the average house sale is taking 5 months to go through. So I hadn't heard that mortgage offers were taking that sort of time. So we'll see. We'll see. It's me. Hello, how you doing? What's your prediction on interest rate rise tomorrow, Lee? I'm not an economist. I don't know what it should be, but the last time they voted, one governor voted for a 0.75% increase in interest rates, whereas the other 8 or 7, however many it is, voted for a 0.5% increase. Before that one, when we were going up in 0.25% increases, the amount of governors that were getting swayed and voting for a higher interest rate increase got bigger and bigger. So what we see tomorrow, I think, will be a key indicator of where they're going to be in 6 weeks' time when the next one is announced. But I would imagine I'd hope for only a 0.5% increase and not a 0.75. But if we get a 0.5% increase and 3 governors have voted for a 0.75%, then you could probably guess or presume that the next one after in 6 weeks' time could be a 0.75%, but it all depends what happens with the economy between now and then. You never know. Putin might decide to stop doing what he's doing. Alex reckons 0.75%. I hope not. I hope 0.5%. I hope none. No, I hope they don't do it at all, but they're going to. But I reckon 0.5% would probably be okay. But again, I'm not an economist. Why don't you go first hurdle out of the way? Hopefully completion comes quickly. I hope it does. He's waited long enough for for that. Hi, Insane Thacker. How you doing? Lee, have you noticed any decline in inquiries over the last? And no, I haven't. I'm still noticing quite a lot of people inquiring about properties. Sorry, my contact lens keeps slipping in my eye. So still quite a lot of interest coming in for any new properties that I'm taking on the market. I finished at 6:30 today, and my last 3 phone calls were tying up 3 offers on properties. So it's still very busy. Certainly busier than what it was in 2019. It's me. It's been a while since I caught up with you, Lee. You've moved on and up from the days of vids in your car, mate. I have. Well, I really wanted to hit that 4,000 hours watch time. So I started doing live streams because it seems like you guys want to spend some time with me on a Wednesday evening. So, yeah, there will be some more car videos coming. Maybe when the market dies down a little bit, when I've got more than 5 minutes in between appointments. So I generally have to eat my lunch in the car in between appointments, not make videos. Give me food. How you doing? 100% agree with you, Lee. We're having to pay £17,500 in stamp duty and we're first-time buyers. We can only just afford it, but definitely not happy to pay. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's horrible, that amount of money you have to pay. You're being sort of punished for wanting to buy where you work and where you live. If the government just done a whole blanket stamp duty for first-time buyers, there was no stamp duty for first-time buyers, then that would certainly help every first-time buyer rather than just 3 out of 4. But it's going to cost them a lot of money. It's going to cost them a lot of money. So I don't know whether they'll do that or not. But yeah, I mean, 17.5 grand. Imagine what better that money could do for you. What that could pay for. That could pay for your solicitor's fees, any home improvements on the property as well. So it really is would be much better in your pocket getting it into the economy rather than going into the tax man's pocket and then being spent on stuff that we don't know. Give me food. I feel for you there. That's a lot. It is a lot. And Jane would go with you, Alex, on your prediction of a 0.75% increase. I think you could be right. But we'll have to wait till tomorrow. Yes, the same house lead, but as my 5th lender, I applied to that. Finally worked. The purchase nearly fell through twice in the 5 months. The last lender gave the offer in 2 weeks. Fantastic. So there are sort of good thing being optimistic. It's good being optimistic because, I'll say I'm an optimistic person, so I don't like to preach about doom and gloom. I'd rather give you the facts that I know, and then you can make your own mind up. But yeah, it's. I'm glad you've been with us for a long time, Chico, haven't you? So I'm glad you're getting somewhere finally. And Alex, he hopes his prediction isn't correct, but that's the rumor. Yes, give me food. That is a lot. It's me. Whereabouts are you based, Lee? How's your brother's rental doing? So I'm based in North Essex, South Suffolk border. That's where I am. My brother's rental's doing all right. His next door neighbours just sold for. Oh, hang on. How much more? About £70,000 more than what my brother paid for his property 2 and a bit years ago. So he's sitting on some nice equity, and his house is better. So he's doing all right. So hopefully, he'll buy me a nice drink one day with his extra equity. He used to watch these live streams, but I reckon he's had a baby now as well, so he's got his hands full. So. Anybody got any predictions as to what they think is going to happen with the stamp duty? Do you think they're going to up the points in which you have to pay it? Do you think they'll incentivize people to downsize? There's even talk of incentivizing homes with a higher energy rating for buyers. So if you buy a more green house, that you can save money on stamp duty. I think that will probably be eventually something that they do in the future, but right now I'm not too sure that's something which Yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet. Not with how things are going with energy market. I think that's probably right. I'm with you, Lee. 5% feels right, to be fair. They seem to vote on the Conservative side. So, yeah, I think that's what they do. They tend to go with the lower one first, then as the 6 weeks come and go, because that's when they look at it again every 6 weeks. You'll notice that more and more governors start voting towards a higher increase in the interest rate. So, yeah, we had one last time. Let's see what it's like tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a video. Maybe we'll do it if my voice can withstand it. You reckon they'll scrap it completely? What, for everyone? What about investors who have to pay that surcharge? That'd be an interesting tact. Interesting tact, because it does bring in a lot of money. It does bring in a lot of money. Whether that they I don't know. It's a tough one. That is a tough one. If they scrapped it, I think if they put a time scale on it, they're going to do no stamp duty, like what they did with the stamp duty holiday. Do another holiday for the next year or 6 months, then it'd have to be more than 6 months. It'd have to be more than 6 months, because house transactions are taking 5 months to go through at the moment. So I think doing a 6-month stamp duty cut would help people that are buying now, but not necessarily help people who want to buy in the near future. So if they scrapped it completely, another holiday, have to be for at least a year, or 8 months, to give people a couple of months chance to try and sell and get ready and find somewhere. But yeah, I think it's yeah. Hang on a second. Insane thinker. Is it standard practice of a estate agent to consistently contradict them? Have I contradicted myself? Have I? Let me know. Let me know. I do waffle on. How's buying really going? It's going great, Alex. It's going great. I've run out of slots for the introductory price of £200. So if you are interested in me offering on your property, on a property for you, then that price has now gone up, unfortunately. I didn't quite realize how time consuming it would be, especially when you've got 2 or 3 on the go, in terms of putting offer forwards, getting all the information together, going back and forth between you. It's a lot of work, which if you've offered on a house, you know. But if you want me to do that, the price, I haven't decided what the price is yet, but it won't be £200 anymore, unfortunately, guys. So well done for all of you that have locked in that £200. We've had some great success stories. I'm hoping today, I won't give their name out in case they're watching, but we think we may have secured a property. It went to best and final offers, and we should secure it below the lowest offer that came in. So just by framing our offer correctly and doing the right things, we should secure a property at best and final at the lowest figure. All right. So with the lowest figure going in out of the 3 people that have offered, and yeah, I think we're going to secure it. So hopefully we can do that. Where are we? Don't forget to like this. So press the dislike button twice to make sure. Cheers, Paul. How many are we at? I've not done a little check yet. So we're at 18 likes, 57 views. We can do a bit better. You know I can. You know we can. Come on. Do better than that. How much does a better energy efficiency rating actually affect energy bills? All depends on what you've got there. I mean, if you've got solar panels with a decent feed-in tariff where the grid pay you money for any extra kilowatts you don't use and you produce, then that could be a very, very good thing in terms of your bill being reduced, as well as the grid paying you money. But the basic things you can do which can help is insulation, getting a modern boiler. I got a new boiler last January this year, and it heats up quicker. The house gets warm quicker, which means it's on less. So yeah, it does help. But it's one of those things that you don't actually have money in your pocket because you've done it. You just notice that your bills are a little bit cheaper. But with what's happening in the world right now, that really does. It's quite. Yeah, you're not going to notice it too much, unfortunately. I hope they don't do it. Me too. For my sanity, I really hope they don't. Stamp duty money is like the mafia demanding protection money. You have no choice. But yeah, welcome to the tax land. What do they say? There's two things certain in life: tax and death. And we get taxed every day. At least we only die once. I don't think there will be any saving in the stamp duty as emphasis on normal day-to-day spending, energy, food tax. Yeah, again, I think this might just be a vote winner for the Conservatives. They will be looking to the election in a couple of years' time about what they've done to hopefully stimulate the economy. By the time we get to election next year, I think what Liz Truss is hoping to have is a growing economy, and she can go, because we've done X, Y, and Z, that is why we are in the position we are now. And hopefully it works out all right. But yeah, at the moment, it's all guesswork, isn't it, guys? It's all guesswork. Alex, I wouldn't have thought price would have gone up for your regulars. The regulars got in quick. Like I say, it's so time consuming as well. So it's got to be it's got to be worthwhile. And yeah, I think it's worth it. And if people don't take me up on it, then of course I'm here every Wednesday to help for free. Best of luck, late. I hope you can share it as a discussion. Me too. I'm hoping I can quit my job one day and do this and help buyers buy a property. Not so much you. We recently put a house on the market, and the estate agents have a habit of forgetting the crap they keep peddling us. I don't know what's gospel or bullshit. So agents, we have a saying that buyers are liars, but I'm sure the public think we're liars. And picking a good, trustworthy estate agent in St. Thacker is key. A lot of sellers go with the valuation that comes in at the highest, or they go on for a higher price and choose the cheapest agent. Now, in the short run, that might be something which you think has a good idea. But if you've got an agent that's charging really, really cheap fees, they've obviously got no faith in themselves. They don't value themselves as an estate agent. They don't value their own work. Okay, so the only way for them to get your business is to charge you less. And if an agent has to do that, then you shouldn't use them in the first place. The other agents are overvaluers. So the only way they can win your business is by valuing high. So, and that makes you want to go on the market with them. And then over the next 5, 6, 7 weeks, they're slowly getting you to reduce your price, even though they're the ones that valued it at that. So you've got to try and find that middle ground where you find that agent that you trust, that has given you what is a realistic price, not a price to make you smile and to get you on the market, a realistic price who's going to charge you the right fee for getting that right price for you. So yeah, it's a difficult one. Some tips for throwing best and final offers. So basically, you just want to be honest with the estate agent, honest as possible. You want to get all your information ready. You want to send it all over with your best and final offer. There's so many things you can put in an email to the estate agent, which hopefully get to the seller. The one that we framed up today, the seller and the estate agent. I think we've been somewhat blessed with an estate agent that is a quality estate agent that is also putting our case best to the seller. So sometimes the highest price isn't always the best offer to go with. It might be in terms of monetary terms, but you've got value as well. So hopefully, if you're stress your position, you get all your forms over, your size of your deposit, all those sorts of things. If you get all that over, that might just tip you over the edge compared to another buyer flip-flop. So being quite open and honest and getting all the information over to the estate agent when you submit your offer, I think is a great way of showing that you're serious and you know what you're doing. It's me. How long have you been in the property game, Lee? Was it the industry you always wanted to work in? How did you get involved? So I've been doing this 20 years this month. End of this month would be 20 years. So I was just walking home from college one day. Didn't want to do college, was studying history and law and business. And after about a week of doing it, I decided that A-levels weren't for me. As I was walking back home, bricking it, that I'd jacked in college without telling my parents. I walked past this estate agent who was looking for a T-boy. So I thought, well, at least if I go home and tell my parents that I've quit college, I can say that I've got a job interview or I've applied for a job. So that's what I've done. After a couple of weeks, got the interview, got the job as the T-boy. And after 3 months, I was promoted to junior sales negotiator or trainee sales negotiator. And then 15 years later, I'm manager of that same office. Had a bit of a break in between, went to a different estate agent, thought the grass was greener, but came back in 2012 to the company I'm with now. And yeah, I suppose I've always had an interest in property. But my dad thought that the internet would take over and estate agents wouldn't be needed. But I think if you've got a good estate agent, then there'll always be value in that. Always be value in that. Man's got to earn some money. I have. I've got to earn some money. Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers. DRCVs. Oh, welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Hi, everyone in the chat. Really hope you're okay. I'm good. Your throat sounds sore. It is sore. It is sore. Yeah, it's been a tough day today. It's been a really tough day today. But I plan for I'm off tomorrow, so I'll be resting that throat tomorrow. Someone I know picked a free estate agent, took from December to September to sell it. And was that strike by any chance, Jane? Yeah. If an agent isn't charging a fee, that's because that's the only way they can get you to use them. They're not offering anything of value. But yeah, that is nuts. And actually could have lost them money just to save 1% of the sale price. It's crazy, crazy. Ollie, do you think price per square foot is a good way of working out what property is worth for a time buyer? If you've got no, I don't. I don't think price per square foot. America and in cities, they tend to go a lot by that or advertise the square footage. But I think because there's so many different micro markets, and I keep saying this throughout the country, there may be one road which the price per square foot is X amount, and then a few doors down, the same property might have a better saleability, a better position. So I think you can get a good idea if a property is overvalued by working out price per square foot, but people value different things at different prices. So one might be closer to a good school. If you've got kids, you may pay more money for that. If you don't have kids, you may not want to pay good money for a good catchment area school. Same with if you live close to if your work is close to a property that you want to buy, you may pay extra for that because you haven't got to drive to work or you haven't got to get the train or what have you. So it can give you an indication as to the average price in an area, whether it's above average or below average. But I personally wouldn't look to do that. Just do your own research on what's going on in the market, how long it's been on the market for, find out how much interest has been in the property, and that will be a better idea on value. Because if it's been on the market 4, 5, 6 weeks and hasn't sold, then it's too much money. It is too much money. It's as simple as that. The only way for stamp duty to work is to abolish it forever. A couple of people are saying that. So yeah. Jane, Ollie, you have to look at the full picture. In my opinion, location, access to amenities and services, your affordability. It's about what it's worth to you. Exactly. And that's why a house is difficult to value for an estate agent, because every person will want different things. And this is when I say you've got wants and needs when you're buying a property. If you just narrow down your search to your needs, then you may pay a bit more for the property that has some wants. But if a house got everything you need, then you might be able to find that at a lot cheaper price. But if you then go and compare it to a house that has all your needs, it's going to be worth more money. Is that worth an extra 10, 20, 30,000 pounds because it's got an extra room for you to do your music in or live streaming or stuff like that? So it is very personal as to what a property is worth to someone. And that, and that is different from person to person. You're welcome, Flip Flop. Some thanks for Jane. Might have been. Sam, welcome, Sam. Don't recognise your name, so welcome to the channel. Hi, mate. I'm in the process of buying a flat. Searches are ongoing and it's all positive. Mortgage application complete. Will we still have to pay stamp duty? No completion exchange date yet. So if you're a first-time buyer, Sam, and you're buying under £300,000, then you will not have to pay stamp duty. No matter what happens, well, unless they completely go the other way and this stamp duty rumour is to actually pay more stamp duty, which I don't think it will be. But at the moment, you'll pay no stamp duty up to £300,000, and then you'll pay the proportion that you are over. So if you're over £300,000, you'll pay 5% of the difference between the threshold and the price you're paying at. But if there is an announcement on Friday that stamp duty is going to change, then I'll do my best to get a video out as soon as possible. But I am at work on Friday, so that might be a bit difficult. Might do a live stream if the wife will let me. So she's also feeling ill as well. So we're a bit of a riddled household at the moment. But let me know if you're buying at £300,000 or more, or if you're a first-time buyer as well, because obviously that has a massive, massive impact on where you pay stamp duty. Rincewind, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Nice to see you again. Planet Pokewood, late to the party. Don't you worry. What have I missed? I'll have to watch it back later. You've missed me rabbiting about stamp duty. We've talked about what potentially the government could do, what we would like, what we wouldn't like to happen. The vote so far, will stamp duty cuts help you buy? 51% of you, of the 43 that have voted, have said yes. So just over half of you have said that a stamp duty cut would help. So I'm guessing a lot of you guys are buying above £300,000. So in our little demographic that we've got here, more than 25% of you are in that higher higher buying area, over £300,000. So that's interesting to know. Interesting to know. Wow. Hello, Miss Dito. How you doing? How are you doing? Long time I speak. I'm worried about stamp duty cut. It's going to be the older generation cashing in, and first-time buyers, second steps will be unable to buy me. So I don't know. I mean, the stamp duty, anything in the stamp duty could push up prices. It could. It may just stop prices coming down any worse than what they could have done. But I think at the moment, the main definite thing that's happening is those interest rates going up, Miss Detox. So, yeah, that's definitely happening. So between 0.5% and 0.75%, they're predicted to go up tomorrow. So what's that going to do to your monthly payments, to your affordability, your monthly outgoings? How much more of your wages is going to be have to put towards mortgage because of the extra interest you're going to have to pay? So for me, immediately, it's interest rates, stamp duties. I mean, again, if you're a first-time buyer, up to £300,000, you don't pay it. It's only if you're over £300,000 that you have to start paying a proportion of it. And if you're over £500,000, which apparently a quarter of people are, then you lose it at all. But let's just wait and see what happens on Friday, and I'll do my very best to do a live stream on Friday so we can discuss it and unpack it, and hopefully see whether it benefits you or if it doesn't. Hello, Zuzu. How are we? Hope you're doing all right. Hello. Basic 708. Hello, Lee. Sorry, just don't you worry, mate. Don't you worry. Is a proposed stamp duty cut only for properties up to? No, we don't know if it's a cut or an adjustment of the threshold. Whether the government are going to move the rate where you don't pay stamp duty for everyone up from £125,000 up to 250, and then raise the other ones in accordance with that. We don't know whether they're going to change the percentage of how much you pay. It's really just something they've leaked to the media without any context or any other news. So it's very difficult to predict at the moment. There's a few things we've talked about earlier about maybe incentivizing people who own family homes, maybe giving them a reduction to help stimulate more family homes coming onto the market. We've talked about green homes, hopefully more energy efficient homes, getting less stamp duty to pay. So there's a few things they can do, as well as adjusting the thresholds and including or excluding people in any stamp duty cuts. So yeah, it's it's nuts. It's me. Do you fancy creating some Leverett property sales boards of your own one day? Nope. Nope. Unless you're in the business and can do me a massive good discount. But yeah, I'd need the homeowner's permission to put any boards up. I mean, once the money gets to my sister, what's the next process? Documents will be sent to the broker to get mortgage application going. Right. So, Albie, what will happen is the salesman will go out. The seller's solicitor will know where to send the draft contract papers to, which is your solicitor, which the ones I recommend. So congratulations, they're fantastic. So that may be a week or so before your solicitor gets that draft contract from the date of the sales memo's going out. Then you'll be invited to pay for the searches, which I think if you're using this one already, you would have already. So once I've had the draft papers in, they'll submit the searches. They will take between anywhere from a week to 3 or 4 weeks to come back. Once those searches are back, the solicitor will start to raise questions and inquiries, all while your mortgage application has gone in and your survey's been done and stuff like that. So for the next 2 or 3 weeks, there won't be a lot more that you can do because you've paid your solicitor, you've done your mortgage application. It's now a case of the seller doing their information gathering and then getting that to your solicitor so your solicitor can do what you've paid them to do. Very quick. That's a very quick summary. What area do I cover? So I cover across the whole country, mainly England. So if you are interested in my services of offering on properties, then anywhere in the country, Um, I don't pretend to know I know prices of everywhere in the country. I don't. So you'll be relying on doing your own research when it comes to offering on a property. I will put your offer forward and make sure you're not led up the garden path and forced or coerced into paying any more than what you need to. That's where the value is in my services. I'm not going to tell you whether you're overpaying for a property or anything like that. It's purely making sure that you're not forced into paying more money than what you have to. As with a client today, I think we're going to secure a best and final offer at the lowest price with the lowest offer at best and final, and we should secure it. So yeah. But if you're looking to sell a property, I'm based in North Essex. So if you're interested, you can always email me, Lee at leeeverettproperty.co.uk. Do you know how long local authority searches typically? Uh, do you know how long local authority searches typically take? So they were taking in some areas 6 to 8 weeks. I think they've got a little bit quicker now. So, but depending on your local council and whether the solicitor goes private with the searches with the private company or they go to the local authority, but 2 to 3 weeks is probably the average at the moment. It was a hell of a lot more. So, although it seems like a long time, it's really, it's really not compared to last year. Suzu, does stamp duty apply for first-time buyers? Bear with me 1 second, guys. 1 second. So, I'm so sorry about that. I've been fighting a sneeze for the last 46 minutes, but I had to give in to that one. So, stamp duty, if it's your residence, I mean, I personally wouldn't waste my stamp duty exemption on buying a buy to let property because generally your buy to let property is going to be cheaper than probably your main residence. So, but yeah. I mean, you'll only pay stamp duty if you already own a property. All right. So the additional surcharge. So your first buy to let, um, you should be stamp duty free. I think, but double check with your solicitor. Miss Detox, thanks, Lee. Great point. No, you're more than welcome. Basic Surfic, perfect. Thanks. Lender valuation scheduled for tomorrow. If the lender is satisfied, will the valuation roughly how long before mortgage offer comes? Sorry. So that's a difficult one. I know every question seems to be a difficult one. If the lender isn't too busy, the underwriters aren't too busy, you may get it in 2 or 3 days after the valuation. Some surveyors have to get the report back to the lender within 48 hours. So if that's done, then within 3 or 4 days after that, you could have your mortgage offer. But I have had a number of cases where the mortgage offer has been 5, 6 weeks after the survey, just because of how busy lenders are at the moment. So you are over a massive hurdle for that valuation being done tomorrow. So hopefully by this time next week, Basic Surfer, you'll have your mortgage offer with any luck. So please, please let me know next week. Come back, let everyone know how you got on. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. I have been fighting it. Fighting it. Hi, Umit. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Please, guys, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. We were at 24 likes, and we're still sitting around that sort of level. So if we can get those likes up, that will help me grow the channel and let YouTube know that this is a half decent live stream. Hi, is there still a backlog from offer to completion? Yes, the me average houses are taking just under 5 months to go through from offer being accepted to completion. Now, solicitors are still very, very busy. Things are taking a long time, so it's it's a difficult time to plan. Rightmove released this information about 2, 3 months ago and said if you want to almost guaranteed to be in before Christmas, you should be moving in July or getting offers put in and putting your house on the market in July. So we're now a couple of months past that. And we've got people who are hoping to be in before Christmas, who we agreed this month. It's not impossible, but there is around 5 months on average, but it depends on the chain, the solicitors, and the sellers and the buyers, and how quickly they are in getting information to and from the right people. It's me. How has the recent interest rate rise affected demand for buying a mortgage? I've not really noticed it. I've still got a lot of first-time buyers and home movers looking to buy properties. I think if you don't know any different, it's hard to say, "Oh, I'm being overcharged." So, I mean, if I was to get a mortgage now as a home mover and I'm paying 2% at the moment, on 75% 5-year fixed rate. If I was to go and get that same mortgage now and it's 4% and my interest has doubled, I'll be pretty pissed off. But if I'm a first time buyer who hasn't paid a mortgage before, who didn't know any different, then it is just the price. My mortgage is my mortgage. So I don't think there's too many people that are looking to buy at the moment who are complaining because they don't know any different. Correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody has had a mortgage offer as a first-time buyer and then the sale's fallen through or the mortgage offer's expired and it can't be renewed, and that same buyer's got to go for a different lender or the same lender, but at a higher interest rate, then it can be a right pain in the backside. That will be something which would cause me to be a bit annoyed. But yeah, I've not noticed it yet, but different parts of the country will do, and different people will do. Yep. Please come back next week. Let us know how you get on. Fitsum Mirror, I completed in August. You will not get a refund. You will not get a refund. So yeah, unfortunately, if you've moved, you won't get a refund. Okay, yep, my offer was accepted beginning of June, still waiting completion. There you go. First-hand experience from Kay here. It is taking a bloody long chain, and that is a property with no chain as well. So, wow. You are more than welcome, Themey. Hitesh, hello. Hi, Lee. I have not received my final set of documents from solicitor after completing in October last year. Wow. So, I'll get on to them. I received mine when I bought 2018. About a month after. So yeah, October might be worth waiting another few weeks, chase your solicitor and see what's happening, and then let us know. But yeah, give it to the end of the month and then maybe give them a call. Give me food. Hello, how you doing? Offer was accepted on the 4th of May. Only heard about a completion date today after 4 months of silence from seller. There you go. That's a lot of feedback from people saying that things are taking a long time. So for every person who is taking a quick time, there is somebody who is taking quite a long time as well. Fair point. No, you're right. Thanks. Which one? My interest rate is 2% as well, fixed until 2025. Let's hope they're fixed inflation. Yeah. So mine 5-year fixed 2021. Yeah. So I've got till 2026. No. Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah. So I'm hoping that interest rates are back down. But even if they're not, if they are still high, in 5 years' time, we're going to have built up more equity. Maybe not in terms of if house prices don't increase, then you're paying off more of your mortgage each month. So the longer you're paying your mortgage, the interest you're paying and more capital you're paying off. So when you do come to remortgage, you might fall into a higher loan to value bracket as well. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So even if prices do drop, I would like to think that because I've paid off more of my mortgage, I'll be in a decent loan to value still where the interest rate isn't too much. Right, guys. So I'm done. But before you go, if you're not buying a property right now and you are looking to buy a property and you need a conveyancer, okay, the solicitor or conveyancer, whatever you want to call them, that is going to act on your behalf buying the property, I have wangled a £250 discount for a company that I'm highly recommending at the moment. Really, really good. Very aimed at, well, the reason I approached them was because they seem to be targeting first-time buyers with how they work, how informative they are, the technology they're using, and they're aiming to speed up the house buying process by 6 to 8 weeks. So as we've experienced here, the length it takes to buy a property, hitting 5 months in some instances. The solicitor I recommend, their goal is to speed up transactions by 6 to 8 weeks. If you are interested in using a conveyancer that wants things to go through quickly, then drop me an email. It's lee@leeeverettproperty.co.uk. I'll submit your details. They'll provide a quote, and that quote will have a £250 discount embedded in it already. All right. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. I should have done a little ticket here. Where are we? Let's put my email address in. I've had to take me up on it, and I know a couple of the guys have been very impressed. I'm now recommending them for my normal job as well. Love the updates. Love how consistent they are. Every Monday and Thursday, I get an update with how my sales are progressing. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, Lee at leeeverettproperty.co.uk, and I'll get a nice referral link for you, and they can give you a good good price, and they're a good one as well. Patrick May, is that in Clacton on Sea? What's in Clacton on Sea? Patrick, let me know what you mean by Clacton on Sea. Core Blimey Governor, it's been nearly 7 months and still no completion. You've gone through it, Bo, haven't you? You've been here from the start. So I kind of like that your transaction has taken a little bit longer because you've been here every week, most weeks. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so this stream is starting to wind down now, guys. Let's just see how many likes we've got. We're up to 32. Disappointing, guys. Disappointing, but I understand. I understand that not all of you may have logged in. But yeah, if you are watching the replay, you got this far, please check out some other videos as well. If you are interested in that conveyancing quotes, please drop me an email, Lee at leeeverettproperty.co.uk. And if there is an announcement on Friday, I'll do my best to produce a video or do a live stream so we can digest it, go over it, and have a little chat. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Thanks for the staying around after the lack of audio at the beginning of the stream. Thanks again, and I will see you hopefully when I'm feeling better and the throat is back. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.